another episode of Clouds with Meaning with your host Nkuna. Today I'm sitting with Tintswalo Nkuna, who is the founder of Wise Maidens Network, an organization designed to support and empower single mothers. She's a Marketplace Ministry Institute graduate, a transformational speaker who's passionate about issues affecting single mothers, relationships, and young women. Her life mission is to live a life of friendship, to help those who are brokenhearted and emotionally wounded to restore hope and reignite the spark for life and God. Single Again is her first book. And so who hurt you? Who hurt you?
Well, it's this hunk that I met. Perhaps at the time I was a bit too young to even notice what a hunk is, because I was about 13 in high school, and this guy shows up, and you know, when he's wearing his school uniform, he looks like someone from the Forbes cover, you know, cover magazine kind of stuff, and I'm like, okay. So we fell in love like teenagers. Then at the age of 18 had a baby, so by default I had to pay lobola. So at the age of 21 I became a wife.
Did his parents force him, or he just thought, okay, now that I made her pregnant, we must get married now?
I think they did have the influence, but it was not forced in a way. It was just like by default, you know, people my age are getting married, because he was 25 at the time. Okay, people my age are getting married. I have this one that has been here all along for like 5 years now, so why not?
Okay, so you guys got married and things went well until what happened?
Well, you know, every relationship has its ups and downs. So we had our own ups and downs until he met his what do they call them? BFF. Best friend
forever.
Yes.
Who was a lady?
Yes, who was a lady.
Okay.
Colleague. So he came home and said, you know, there's this girl that I met, and I'm in love. You know. So I'm not saying go home, but I'm just saying so that you know that there's this person that I love. I mean, you are the mother of my child, so I can't kick you out, but just know that I'm in love. So
he arrived home and told you that he's in love. He found somebody, he loves this person.
Yes.
Oh, and what was that like?
It was well, I was not laughing at the time.
Now it sounds like a joke.
But it was painful, because now I'm thinking I've been with this person. At the time it was about 6 to 7 years.
Married for how long?
Married for about 2 years now. And then he's telling me that he loves her. And this is someone he has met, or he has known, for about 3 months. And I'm thinking, I've been washing, cooking, doing all these makoti things, changing diapers, and you love someone who's never even washed a teaspoon for you. You know. So it was I felt like I'm not woman enough. I mean, being rejected by someone who has seen all your nakedness and everything, and you think, all these years, so everything that you have seen, if you still can't love that, then it means there's something wrong with me.
I see. And then what happened?
And then we decided to work around it. Okay, so you
didn't go home?
No, at the time I didn't go home, you know. They say, what do they say? Musadi utshara. Yeah, I don't know who holds the other part.
Who holds the handle? And the woman should hold the sharp end.
And bleed to death. And they would say stuff like, Libitla musadi ki bohadi, and all those things. So I went to church, prayed about it, asked some women for advice, and they're like, no, just pray. So I decided, you know what, it doesn't help that every day he comes home we are fighting about this girl. And it seemed like the more I fought with him, the more he fell in love with her. So the agreement was, okay, it's fine, you guys can go ahead. So she will you can marry her as well if
like you want. As in you'd be she'll be the second wife.
She'll be the second wife.
Is that what he said? I want her to be the second wife.
What he said was, I can't choose between the two of you.
So I love both of you.
So yeah, but obviously I love her more.
Okay.
So I can't choose between the two of you, and I can't send you home. So let's find a way to work around it.
Yeah.
So I tried to be friends with her.
Yeah. In the, like, was she staying in the same house with you, or?
No, she was staying 2 streets away from us, and they were working together.
Okay,
So, and initially we had an agreement that, okay, since you are falling in love out there, every now and then there's this girlfriend. So we had rules, like we'd say, you don't date at work, you don't date at church, you don't date anywhere around me, so that I don't have to meet that side chick or whatever. Okay, so this one broke all the rules.
I see.
And he fell in love.
I see.
Which people who cheat say the first rule is don't fall in love. I don't know how that works. So he broke all of them.
Yeah.
So tried to arrange, you know, to have your Mandla Mtembu kind of, I mean, Mseleku kind of situation.
Yeah. Who's Mandla Mseleku?
The guy that has, I think it's 4
wives. Oh, yes, from the show.
What do you call it? Utando Nestim.
Oh, okay.
So we're trying to pull something like that.
Yeah. So you were actually considering being like the first wife.
Yeah.
Entertaining in your mind, like, okay, so maybe let's see if this would work. You're actually thinking about it.
Yes, I was thinking about it because I thought, okay, if he goes to work and comes back maybe 5 hours late, at least I would know where he is and who he's with. So I thought that would maybe make me feel better, but it didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what happened?
And then one day I remember I met with them on the street at night. He walked out. We had his family over for dinner. Yeah. So he walked out. I'm just going to fetch my laptop from the lady. And he said, just give me an hour. I'll be back in an hour. 1 hour goes by, almost 2 hours.
He's not back.
I'm boiling inside. He's not back. The family is sitting there laughing, having conversations, and I just finished cooking. You know, as Makoti,
you've done your part.
Yes, Mama Zara is there, and you are doing everything to prove.
And at this point, you are staying at your own house.
Yes.
Okay.
So I decided, you know what, he's not coming back. Went crazy. I decided to take a walk to look for him in Sunnyside. Can you imagine at night?
Yeah.
Just here. And then so I could see his car parked somewhere, and I hear people laughing. So when I get there, the BFF is on his chest. Then I'm like, guys, can you please share the joke? Ooh. And he's like, oh, hi. Takes her by the hand. This is my wife. Then he says, this is the girl I told you about. So I'm like, what's happening? And you know, now that I think about it, he never let go of her hand.
Whilst he's having this conversation with you.
He's having this conversation with me, and he's like, you know what, you staying with me. Ooh. So he's like, yeah, this is the girl I told you about. We have feelings for one another. We're in love. But we don't know if we want to pursue a serious relationship because of you and all that.
So you are hindering us.
Yeah. So
you're making it hard for us to continue.
Yeah. So I said, it's fine. Okay, I'll just go. And he says, no, I don't want you to go. So I was so angry, and I'm telling this girl, I'm saying, you know what? Don't think you are the first one he's had. There've been many others before you, and you probably won't be the last one. Then I walked away. So we were this couple that was serving at church, and you know, at church, couple, yes, power couple.
Everybody looked up to you.
Yes, running prayers in our house with family and all that. So we knew how to pull the perfect couple mask.
Look,
and,
yeah.
So we go back to the house. The parents and the sisters are still sitting there, and we walk in as if everything is okay.
Yeah.
But when I got to my room, I decided, you know what, I'm packing my stuff. I'm going.
Whilst the family was still there?
Yes, the family was still there.
So you were fed up, you were angry at that time?
I was like, here.
You were livid.
But then when I look back, it was just a stunt to say, or to check, do you love me enough to stop me?
I see. So you were like, do something.
I just want to see, what are you going to do?
I know many women who get admitted in hospital.
Yeah.
Like, because I want to see if you'll come.
Yeah. And it doesn't.
And it doesn't come.
It doesn't come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then did he stop you?
Not not ready, because he called his mom to come and
talk to you.
Basically, what he was calling her for was just to tell her, oh, she's packing her stuff, she's leaving, just to formally
informing her.
Yes,
not saying please talk to her, tell her to stay, and then
so she talked to me, and he confessed, and he said, yeah, there is this woman that I'm in love with. And for the first time in the 7 years that we had been together, he said to his mom, I've been with this woman for so long, but I have never loved her the way a man should love a woman.
Yeah.
So she can go, but what I'm saying is I don't have the love for her. It's easier for me to fall in love out there and do stuff for other women, but when it comes to her, I mean,
could you tell during the marriage that because it sounds like he was committed. I mean, committed in the sense that he will do the things he wants to do, right? He doesn't want to see you kicked out, but the passion wasn't there. Could you pick that up with time or not really?
In the beginning of the relationship, I think there were signs and red flags that I just kind of ignored, because for me he was my first, and you're thinking, I have all these feelings, the butterflies and whatnot. So we would have maybe just petty fights and arguments, and his solution was always, let's part ways.
Oh, I see. So every time you fought, the answer would be, okay, if it's like that, let's just
break up.
I see.
And all those kind of things. But then as time went by, he was loving, grew together, reading the Bible, praying, serving God, having fun together, and up to a point where he went to work hard for his money and decided to pay lobola.
I see.
So for me that was, okay, this is someone who's committed, and
But was he committed, or is it that he's just that kind of person? Because I think sometimes people confuse. You find a guy does certain things and it looks like love, but maybe he's just an orderly person who just doesn't like seeing people suffer in a way, and so he buys the food, he works hard, but it's not driven it's not because he loves, because maybe it's who he is, and then maybe the passion is lacking there, and the commitment maybe.
I only realized that later.
I see.
Because now when there was someone else on the side, I mean, he would even go to the extent of taking this woman grocery shopping for her family, doing all those kind of things. And when I look, I'm like, but he never does this and that for my family. So maybe, as he said, that he finds it easier
to do things like that.
Yes, and be passionate out there than here at home. So it felt like home was, well, it's home, it's a responsibility, it's duty, but it has to be done. It's not.
Okay. Can I imagine? I mean, then there came a point in your life where I suppose you were devastated, and did you end up then separating or divorcing, because your book says single again? so how did you get to the single again part?
Well, that night when I tried to move out, the mom spoke to me, and they'll be like, no, he's not the first man to do this. They always come back home, just hang in there, just pray. And I prayed and I read the Bible until I didn't want to read it anymore, and I didn't want to pray anymore. And it was just the same thing until one night I sat with him and I asked him, who exactly is in your heart? Who do you love in your heart? And he mentioned an ex-girlfriend and this BFF.
I see.
And I'm not, and I'm like, 7 years.
Two of them. And
two of them. And there's not even a tiny spot for me. For me, who has been doing all these things all along. And I spoke to my sister, and she said, because now the relationship was getting to a point where he would parade her in front of me.
I see. Parade her how? As in bring her to the house, or
no, not to the house.
Spaces where you guys would go. Then so he would bring her there.
Yes, and now remember they work together.
Okay.
So if there's something at work, it means I can't go because she's there.
I see.
People at work know me, so when now he has two ladies, then the situation
becomes a bit awkward.
Yeah, and he would drive around our street with her, and I would see all these things. So my sister said to me, if a man can disrespect you like that, he will never respect you again. Because if he was
do something.
Because men, well, some men do cheat, but they keep it away from home. You know,
they keep it professional.
So they don't bring her, because now when you do that, now the side chick feels like she has some kind of power over the wife and all that. So I decided, okay, I'm going to move out, but maybe not yet. Let me just say another prayer, and maybe things will change.
And were you working at the time?
Yes, I was working.
Because part of why other people then struggle is because, so where do I go? How will I afford this lifestyle? You know, I'm gonna lose so much. This woman can't take my house. That kind of thing.
So my challenge for me was going back home like some kind of returned soldier or something, you know. So I had that problem. So we because every December holidays, when we go home, I would go to his parents' house and, you know, do the courtesing and everything. So one time I just decided I'm going to my father's house. And when I went to my dad's house, he's like, for the past 5 years, we've never spent December holidays with you. What's
going on?
So I told him, I mean, I was still a child, so I didn't know how to put it to my dad. And I just said, no, your son-in-law has another woman that he's in love with. And I just said it like that to him.
I see.
And so he said, let's go to your in-laws' house just to talk as parents. So when we got there, he said, this woman has never done anything wrong. I just don't love her, and you can force me to take her back home, but I don't love her.
Do you think he ever did though?
It's confusing, because at some point I would sit and I'm like, nah man, he's lying. When he said this, when he did this, or when this happened, that was love. So now I guess I'll never know.
Okay.
I guess I'll never know. So after that, that's when I decided, you know what, I'm moving out. And he helped me find a place. And helped me.
Yeah, because he's probably that kind of guy.
You know. So it does not necessarily have anything to do with love. He's just that kind of a person. So I left everything, just took my clothes and I left. But I kept coming back.
Because I mean, it's so hard to leave. So when was the final? When was it final in your mind that, okay, this is not gonna work? This is I need to move on. I need to do something else. When did that realization come?
It came 2 or 3 years after.
After moving out?
Yes, after moving out. When unfortunately his father passed away. So no, I think it was within a year or so. So as you know, Makoti, they've paid lobola and everything. I was still very much in contact with his family and all that. So I felt obligated to go and, you know, work like every daughter-in-law. So when I got there, there's someone else now, not the BFF. So now we are in this awkward situation where it's a funeral, a very sensitive time of mourning, and there are 2 women that are now coming for this guy. So he said it clear that I don't want you around my family. I don't want you around my mom, because I had a very strong relationship with my mother-in-law. And he said, stop calling her. You know your mother passed away, so just keep that distance between yourself and my mother. Now that my father has passed away, I'm not gonna try be friends with your dad. So let's just cut it here. And I realized, you know what, there's just nothing for me here.
And your recovery, what helped? Because now you're writing books, you're having organizations, and you're dealing with issues affecting single mothers, and so what led to that? I mean, so that would be the background, but what made you start building yourself and even writing about it, even organizing an organization to empower women?
My concern was there is another girl somewhere in the village who's probably maybe still sticking around a guy who does not love her. She's neglecting her studies, neglecting her dreams, and every other thing that she could possibly do, because she thinks being married or having this guy in her life is like the greatest achievement.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, I remember I went to church somewhere and the pastor was saying at the age of 24 you must have your driver's license, be engaged if you are not married, have a car, at least have this and that and that, have a degree or something. And I'm sitting looking at my life and I'm like, the only thing that I have is my matric certificate. And now I'm at this age.
And how old were you when you were listening to that sermon?
I was 23.
And your child at that time is?
And my child at that time, I had him when I was 18. So he's about 5.
Okay. So you are listening to this person, and you only had a matric at the time?
Yes.
So you didn't even get to, at that time, go to university or study further?
For 2 years, I went to tertiary to do a qualification, which I only missed the graduation by 1 module. So I was supposed to submit a project, and by the time I was supposed to be doing it, I was heavily pregnant.
I see.
And now the mother-in-law is here staying with me.
With your second born?
No, that was still the firstborn. Okay. I was 18, I think, around that time. So I'm thinking, I have always been this quiet child who's afraid to talk and ask for things, and I'm thinking, if I tell her I'm leaving the house to do schoolwork and I'm heavily pregnant, in her mind, she's trying to protect me, that you need to take it easy and all that. So I just let it pass and I didn't submit my project. And then, because now I have a baby, I have this hunk, I'm settled, I'm good. What do I need school for? So I just decided to let it go. So basically I had wasted 2 years of studying and never completed.
But partly also because you feared people at the
Yes, I did.
So that is part of your issue, I suppose.
Yes.
But you couldn't assert yourself on the world.
I couldn't.
And so you just complied.
So I just complied.
Do you think, do you think maybe sometimes that's partly why people get taken advantage of? One, because they struggle to speak up, and two, because maybe even they neglected themselves in terms of educating themselves. They don't think that the person they are with might change their mind. They rely on another person instead of also developing themselves, so they neglect their own personal development. Do you think those two things sometimes can get people in trouble, not speaking up and not leaving your own development?
I do.
Yeah.
I think it does, especially as women, because I'm not sure where you come from, but where I come from, a woman sits and submits, and the husband has everything going and she's just there supporting. You don't raise your voice, so he comes and he says this is the plan and you just follow.
I don't know, in a modern society, women these days, I don't know.
So that is changing. So where I come from, that
was the norm.
So when you speak up, it's like you are challenging his authority.
You're being disrespectful.
Yes, you remember in the Bible, there's this woman who didn't have a child. I think it's Hannah, and the husband says, am I not enough for you? So it's those kind of things. People think, oh, you have this husband, or as a husband, I'm here. What do you need to study for? What do you need a degree for? And all those kind of things.
I think some should say, well, I need a degree because I don't know what might happen to you. You might die, you might change, you might turn your back on me. Okay, so that is what happened. So now you said, now you're listening to this person talking about those things, and that snap you out of let's call it maybe the space you were in, your comfort zone, that made you think like, hey, I think I need to put myself together. So what did you then go and do? Sitting or listening to that sermon, then, because before I was just this wife who would go to work Monday to Friday, come back, pick up the child at preschool, go home, cook,
Saturday it's spring cleaning, laundry. Sunday it's church, then it's home. So I didn't have any other life outside my family or my marriage. So going to that church, it was a different church that I didn't normally go to. So now hearing these things, then I started going out, attending seminars, and I would meet women my age. They have those kind of things that the pastor was talking about, and I'm like, I'm challenged. I mean, all these 7 years that I've spent with someone, and now I have nothing to show for it. So I started. First thing I did when I moved out, got my driver's license, registered at school, got my car in the second year. And then I started writing, but I was not comfortable with publishing the book at the time.
So these were things would you journal?
Yes.
So you'd keep your thoughts and you'd put them you'd on your computer somewhere?
Yes.
And where did the seed come from? I think you must write a book.
It was, I don't remember the date, but it was at the National Library. There's a guy, I think his name is Fred Buhatsu. He had organized a seminar there.
Yes.
So there was this guy that I'd been following on Facebook. His name is Jose Rampekwa. He's also an author.
Oh, I see.
So I met him for the first time, and he's like, "Hi, Tintswalo, how are you? When are you releasing a book?" I'm like,
the authors like that. Write a book.
A book. And he's like, "Don't you have a story to tell?" Like, this guy doesn't even know me. Like, what story could I possibly tell? And he walked away. And I thought about it, and I went to my laptop. I've been writing lots and lots of things. My journals are full, and I decided maybe a book wouldn't hurt. But I didn't think I would write something so personal, because that is like, someone said, it's like you took a shower in front of the whole world.
I see. Because I see here, I mean, part of it, you're asking the conversation about the conversation you had about where does she stay and all of that.
Yes.
And so you really revealed yourself then.
I did.
And I mean, so when you talk about these things, do you get surprised with the feedback when people read your book? Do they say, I can relate, or this thing that you said, it touched me, or?
A lot of the people that read the book were like, "Oh, I feel represented."
Because this is my story.
This is my story, but I just couldn't say it.
It's not just me.
It's not just So the feedback is really good, and the feedback from guys as well. It's really amazing.
In what sense? What do the guys say?
Someone said, "You know what? I've done something like this. I didn't know this is how she felt."
I see.
So they are seeing their women in the story.
I see.
So if I behave this way,
this is how she.
Because for me personally, I wouldn't have a problem with someone telling you from the word go that I don't. I don't feel you like that. Maybe let's just try it. But unfortunately, as women, you're always thinking, "No, he's gonna come around."
But do you think he knows it? Because the other thing, I think people say they don't know themselves very well, and as they grow, they start becoming more honest to themselves. And I mean, I've had situations where I've sat with people and you can see that the person was really trying to love someone. Like they were trying to convince themselves that I can love this person. And they get to a point, they say, "You know what, if I'm honest, I want to love you, but this thing is not coming out. I can't." So I think sometimes, yes, people can become mischievous and misleading, but I think sometimes it's just a lack of self-knowledge, the things that make you tick, where you're going with your life, that when you find out those things, then you realize, hey, but this life that I have is not actually what I want. And then now you're supposed to deal with the situation. Well, I don't know if leaving is the answer, but I mean, so I think sometimes it's that people don't understand themselves enough.
I think so too. I was thinking actually about that this morning when I was on my way here. It's one of the things that helped me forgive him. Because I'm like, okay, after him, I've dated other people and I've been in a situation where I felt like I don't feel like I really love this guy. Yes, he's doing everything and all that. And again, as women, a guy would come and tell you that, you know what, I don't think this is going to work, or they show you all the signs, and you keep thinking,
I'll show you that you love me.
We'll be fine. Until now they say, if you don't have enough love, I'll hotspot you.
I'll ensure that you've got enough.
Yes. So sometimes we get to be in denial. I mean, you have this handsome guy. Everyone would do anything to be with him, and he's saying now he's not feeling you, and you're like, no, I can't take this. So
and you don't listen to that.
Yeah. So it's the fear of being rejected.
I see. So now, I mean, when I see your title, I mean, I saw it. Somebody told me about it, and I saw it on Twitter the other time.
Okay.
Yeah, you did post something in, but it also looked like you were hijacking a conversation. Like it's like there's somebody was saying something that you add. But in any case, what is that? A marketing strategy?
Yes, it is. So what I do. I think what they were talking about was, there was a hashtag. I think the first one was, I knew I was played when.
Yeah. Yes, that's what
so I hijacked that and I said, I knew I was played when this and this happened, and I posted
Did it
a
help?
picture.
Did people?
It did. A lot.
So what happened? People forwarded it.
People
did they message
retweeted. They called me. They DM'd.
Did you make any sales?
I did.
From that?
And you know how Twitter is. Twitter is like so harsh, and people are like, it's just a marketing strategy and whatnot. But I'm happy that you saw it.
You see, exactly.
Yes.
So it had its effect, because sometimes you think, just in life in general, you know, we think being nice, being sweet is how things happen. But sometimes I think you force things to happen in life. You fight for things, you know. But so when I see Single Again, one of the things I think is this one of those books that is bashing relationships and marriage, you know, because like marriage is like a swear word now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are like, hey, this marriage business, you know, is bad, and then is that your view, or do you have something slightly different?
Marriage for me, it's one of the most beautiful things. Like I wrote somewhere towards the end of my book that marriage or love does not hurt people. People hurt people. So I cannot now have this negative view or perception about marriage because someone hurt me, and this someone who had shown me from the beginning that, you know what, I don't think this is going to work out and all that. So I still want to get married. For me, for me, it's beautiful. And coming from being a Christian, it's what God designed, so that we can be able to be fruitful and multiply. And this fruitfulness means when we get married, we get to raise kids in the ways of God. They grow up knowing that there's a mother, there's a father, and then you teach them in the ways of the Lord in that way. And so we are continuing what God started in the Garden of Eden. So it is beautiful. It has its ups and downs. So for me, it's one of the other things that kind of resemble God's love.
So you don't have a negative perception, as you say, it's people hurt people. But now, what do you think about this prevailing idea, you know, about relationships? Because I sense that the culture now is anti-relationship. Besides romantic relationships, just having relationships with people, like with even family, like the things that we are designing, living with, are interfering with, shall we call them, pure connections, if you can have such. Like people don't relate to each other in a very honest way. It's like it's like we're almost anti-human, anti-relationship, and anti-marriage, anti-connection. You know. So I don't know. I mean, do you think? Have you seen that? Do you get that? Because that's what I pick up when I just listen to radio and watch social media. I get this idea that there's a negativity towards marriage, or perhaps because maybe I'm looking at social media, because negativity is what is promoted there. You know? I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think social media is making us a generation that is isolated.
Yeah.
So it's becoming much more easier for me to be on Facebook chatting to 5 other people while you are sitting there than me opening up to you, because now those people, I think maybe we are also uncomfortable with ourselves because whatever I post on Facebook, it's supposed to be something to get me likes. So when I go on Facebook and I see about 100 likes on my picture, I'm comfortable. And like when I'm gonna come to you and you say, can't you maybe wear that with that? And I don't want that honesty. So I think social media or technology itself is one of the things that are making us feel it's much better to keep people at a distance and just isolate myself. So people meet on social media, they start dating, and when they meet you realize, no, this is because now everything that I'm putting out there is to give you an impression or an idea of something that I want to be, but I am not.
Have you been on those kind of dates where you met somebody on where you met somebody on some app?
I have.
And then what happened?
Oh God! On social media, he looked like, you know,
he looked proper,
filtered
pictures,
filtered
and bio and everything.
It was just, and I'm like, so what happened is when friends ask, are you in a relationship? Yeah, I go to Facebook with this guy. But then 2 months down the line, I'm like, there's
something not right here.
Something is not right. And the posts are proper. They make sense. The dress code, the pictures, everything is on point. But then you get to meet the person, the character is just not even there. But
what surprised you? Were you like having dinner, lunch somewhere?
we met for lunch. And then started, because I also post proper things.
So it's like, oh, okay, you know, it makes sense then.
It's like a perfect match. I mean, you look at my post.
So if your social medias were dating to be a good couple,
perfect
but
couple.
Now you meet in real life.
Now we meet in real life, and this person is just nothing like. And then we would be sitting, and then after he would post something on Facebook, and I'm like, who is this guy? Because it's not the one I was with.
But what about that? What shocked you or caught you off guard when you were sitting with a person and just comparing this person that you saw on social media that you created in your mind and dealing with them personally? What caught you off guard? Like, what made you go, hang on, it's like we're not dealing with the same person. Is it something he said? Is it what he looked like?
It's not really what he looked like, but he was someone who pretended to have this big mansion. On Facebook you would see the pictures in the kitchen, around the swimming pool, and all that, and like, I want to see where you stay. And I got there, and it was completely different.
So you didn't have a problem, you just said, okay, fine, let's go.
No, it was delayed, we'll
go.
Or maybe just I would let you know, just come to work.
I see.
So
when you arrived there, then you were like, but this looks so different from.
Yes, it looked so different, but then again, being the good girl that I am, always, because I always think that people are afraid of being rejected. So I'm not the kind of person who would walk in and I'm like, no, this is not what I thought. So I would always want to give someone a chance, tell me what's going on here. And
why are you posting mentions?
And you get to understand that, okay, this person has issues, they've been rejected in their childhood and all that. So they're always trying to put up this image facade of
Interesting. I mean, because the point you're making about, it's like you almost have a soft spot for people who are broken-hearted.
Yes, which always gets me into trouble.
Because you want to save everyone.
Because I want to save everyone, and it's not possible.
Yeah. And is it because you generally are like that, you know, because a reflective person, a sensitive person, or is it because of the experience that you've had?
I think
both?
it's both.
Yeah.
It's both. The experience that I've had, because I always say I don't want someone else going through what I've been through.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put anyone through what somebody else has put me through.
Yeah.
Yes. So I am generally sensitive, and I think maybe I just generally attract people who, especially women, who are broken and yeah.
You give off that vibe. Say, come here.
Come here.
I'll mend
it's
you.
Okay. I'll fix you.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I like about myself, or that I've learned, is okay, you can come as a girl, let's talk, let me fix you up, then go on your own way. So, which makes it a bit of a challenge, because that means I need to always take care of myself.
Yeah.
After talking to you, I need to let it out, find a way, so that the next person, when they come, I don't take their issue personally. And
so what do you do then? How
most
do you
of the
take
time
care of
I
yourself?
write.
You write.
I write most of the
Are you
time.
working on another book? Because
Yes,
authors are always working on books.
I am.
Is it in the same line? Is it what's the theme about?
I've got 2 books in mind.
Okay.
The other one, I need to get married first.
Okay.
Before
People say, how can you write this book?
Yes,
What do you know?
Yeah, or well, not necessarily, but also I with this one, there are guys who are now saying, hey, that one you date her, you're on the next book.
I see.
Yeah, so I love relationships, talking about them, and, writing about them. So I want to put together my experiences.
Okay.
Yes, for someone who's saying, I've been waiting for so long, or it's hard.
I'm giving up.
Yes, I'm giving up.
I want a guy to give me a baby, and we'll be fine. We'll sort it out.
Or feeling like something is wrong with them because they can't find the one.
I see. Is there the one?
There's the one that you choose.
Okay.
Yes. So I don't think there's the one that is packaged and nicely wrapped.
Just for you.
Just for you.
So you think that we decide who we want to be with.
Yes.
So there isn't this one especially made in a factory in heaven, shipped to you to meet your needs, just perfect for you.
If it's like that, I might be in a position where I'm not maybe matured enough to even recognize that this is meant for me, or this is specially packaged for me. So I believe you choose. Okay. You meet someone and like, you know what, my heart and my spirit are at peace with this one.
Fair enough. The other thing I wanted to ask, so you're a mom, right?
Yes, I am.
Single mom.
Yes.
Would you recommend it? Would you recommend for people to be single moms? Sorry. You're a single mom.
Yes.
Would you recommend it?
Recommend it how?
Would you say if somebody had to choose between raising a child with someone and raising a child by themselves, and and somebody's asking you, says, so what would be best? What would you say?
All right. For me, it's kids want to grow up in a safe environment, an environment that's safe physically, emotionally, or in any other way. So if you being with this person makes you unsafe, or the child unsafe, then it's better to just do it alone. Because now we're sitting with a challenge where I wrote in my book that raising a child with the person who has hurt me the most was one of my biggest challenges. Yes, I've moved out, but now he still has to come and see the child, because I can't deny my child that to see his father, know who he is, and have a relationship with his father. Because no matter how hard I work, I can never be a father to my son. That's why I don't accept Father's Day messages on on Father's Day. I hear some people will say, "Oh, you are playing two roles." Yes.
Did they say Father's Day?
said no.
Yeah.
Yes,
So is that what you respond? Would you say?
Yes, that's what I said.
No, don't
guys,
send me this.
Yes, I work hard, but I can never. Because I'm raising a son, and in all the years that I've lived, never have I for 1 second been a man. So I don't know what it's like to be a man.
But are there situations as you're parenting and you'd say, okay, I think here maybe he needs a man's perspective. Are there times where he's like, Dad would be good for this?
Yes.
Like what kind of situations?
My son is almost like me. He doesn't talk a lot, but there are times where I don't know, maybe it just gets too much, or I don't know what's going on in his mind, and I will try to find out. He will be sitting quietly, what's wrong, and then he would just cry. So I would give him the space. Okay, mommy's gonna give you 10 minutes or so. When you are done crying, then let's talk. So it's usually in those moments where I call the father just to say, hey, can you just call him and just ask him how his day was and all that. So in those kind of situations, he would then open up, oh, I went to school, this boy did this and that, because he feels like if he tells me, this woman is gonna think I'm not man enough, I can't stand up for myself. So teaching him values, or what it's like to be a man, how do you deal with issues. I feel that in as much as I can do that, but he also needs to get it from his father, because I think kids get their identity from their dad and all that. So they will be having that conversation or lunch, you know, no, we are these, we are men from this surname, so this is how we do things, this is who we are, and all those kind of things.
So does he still have his father's surname?
Yes, he does.
And did you change your surname?
Yeah, I had never changed my surname. I was about to.
Okay, so
because
it's always been the same.
Yes.
Because I know it's an issue for other women. They'll say, oh no, if I get married, I'm not going to change my surname because my child is going to have... There's a name issue.
Yes.
That people have a problem with. Okay. I suppose lastly, I mean, what do you like talking about? What are some of the favorite things you like talking about in the book?
My favorite, I don't know if I can call it my favorite though, but it's one thing that always comes up, the issue of forgiveness.
I see.
You know, I wrote everything, well, it's not everything, but I wrote what I thought people could handle.
Yeah.
And I said, you still need to forgive the person.
Yeah.
Because for me, to be able to raise a child with him, I need to forgive him. For me, to be able to move on with my own life, I need to forgive him. So that's basically me saying, yes, you did 1, 2, 3 to me. I didn't like it, it hurt. But I'm saying I'm willing to live with the consequences of your actions, not bitter.
Yeah.
So yes, you did that, it's fine. I can still talk to you about the child. I'm not going to use the child against you and hurt the child as well in the process. So people would usually say, how do you forgive someone who has done this, you know, and come up with all sorts of reasons. And it makes sense. I mean, why would I forgive you for doing all those kind of things?
But also, what's the cost if you don't?
Yes.
Okay. So where can people get your book?
For now, they can get it directly from me.
Okay, so they'll get you on Twitter?
They get me on Twitter. I'm on Facebook as Tintswalo Nkuna. And I don't know if I should share my number or they'll get
do your phone number?
Yes, but they've got it.
I would recommend more your social media handles and platforms.
All right, so on Twitter, it's at Nkuna. And on Instagram at Moikrisi.
Moikrisi.
Yes. And Facebook, it's Tintswalo Nkuna.
Okay. And last. I mean, what has this book done for you? Have you met interesting people? Because I find the writing a book does strange things that I didn't expect. Have you had any experiences like that?
Yes. It's only been a month and about 5 days.
Yeah.
Yes. I released the book on my birthday last month. So I've met people who said, you know what, you wrote a book, I'm going to start on mine, or I'm going to finish mine, and all that. And I've met people who said, you know what, my I've been divorced and I've been having issues not only with the ex-husband but with my mom. And you know what, I read your book and I decided, you know what, let me just forgive her. And someone said, you know what, I've decided I'm gonna go for counseling. I'm gonna seek help because it's been so many years since I've separated with this person and I just can't find it in my heart to forgive him or to move on with my own life. When someone would say, oh, you know what, I had given up on my dreams and now I think I should do that.
Revive them. Powerful, you know, and I think we underestimate that. We underestimate the value of just us existing. How when you are you, the world is inspired because you give the world something unique.
Yes.
And I don't think enough people appreciate that. But thank you very much. We'll talk after you do a few rounds of the book.
Okay.
And perhaps when you write your other book. But it's been lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.